Hello, everyone, and we are live. We are live. We are live. We're live. Welcome, everyone. My name is Lawrence Nkwocha. This is Formula for Everyday podcast, and I'm so glad to be doing this broadcast this evening. If you're new in this, if you're new to Formula for Everyday podcast, like we always say, we may hope to do the better things tomorrow, but the best things are done today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you had a great week. We're so glad that it's a weekend and it's time for us to relax and reflect on how well we were able to live through the week. Both thinking innovatively and trying to get basically adapting new ways of doing things to be able to deliver towards the kind of results that we definitely we expect in our lives. So, once more, welcome. So, we're going to be starting today with a little reflection. One thing that a lot of people shy away from is um, people shy away from what may be, and this is due to the fact that human beings have not been able to capture the concept of time in order to be able to manipulate it either to go back into the past or forward into the future. It has been science's biggest dream to manipulate time in such a way that um, we can be able to go back in time or ahead of time. So today I was just thinking very deeply about a very exciting thought that something I think about more often these days, and it is what the future holds. Have you ever thought to yourself, what does the future really hold for me? Like, what exactly is the possibility of my future? Like, what's your life going to be like in the next 5 years, or let's say 10 years, or maybe even 20 years? What was your life going to be like? We're sure. I mean, if you are watching this um pod, like if you're watching this broadcast right now, it's very sure that you will not be alive in the next 100 years. Like, that is very certain, because I mean, I don't know what age you are right now, but it's very possible that in the next 100 years you're not going to be alive. So, have you ever thought about what your life will be like in the next 50 years? What your life will be like in the next 30 years? That's a very important thing for us to do, because it's an important exercise, because it helps us to reflect on how our time here is finite. We are not going to live forever. So it's very important for us to make the most of our time here, because, like I mentioned, we are not going to live forever. So every opportunity we get at every point in time, we must do our best to, you know, carry out our assignment the way we are supposed to and the way we ought to, so that we'll affect those around us. Because this topic of what the future holds is basically thinking about your legacy. What would remain after you're gone? After you're done with your work here, what exactly will remain? What would be your legacy? What would be the evidence that you actually lived through this earth, that you actually walked on the earth? What would be your evidence? So it's something we need to consistently think of, because when we begin with the end in mind, according to Stephen Covey in his book Seven Habits of Effective People, when we begin with the end in mind, we tend to be more appreciative of our present, and we live more in the moment, because there's already an end in mind, and we maximize every opportunity we have to make the most of today. And all this still ties back to our mantra: we may hope to do better things tomorrow, but the best things are done today. Today is an exciting opportunity. Today is a wonderful gift. So if you ever have the privilege of living today, you should make the most of it, because I mean, like we always say, like in fact, I even made the statement yesterday that tomorrow is not promised. All right, so getting into it, for me, I cannot entirely tell you what the future holds, but I can try, because I have so much dreams, I have so much aspiration as to exactly what I've seen my future to be like. So for me, the future is more like, you know, um, me celebrating so many wins of different aspirations I may have had through, you know, this lifetime. You know, and the good things about dreams is that dreams never really die. I mean, there are things I thought about when I was a child, and these days I'm reminded of them. I mean, a lot of them have been accomplished, and as I keep going on, I keep, conceiving new dreams. I now find out like when I was a child, it was almost impossible for me to fathom the path through which I would reach where I am right now. But here I am. So if I can think about the possibility of what would happen in the future, then it's going to be a very huge win when those things begin to manifest in my life. And I saw something today on quantum physics. You know, there are different possibilities that can actually occur in our life, but the possibility that we land into is that which we've been expecting. So if we look at it in the parallel universe, because the quantum physics was trying to define everything, that there are different outcomes that can happen in your life, but the one that you finally finally ends up happening to you is the one that you have been expecting. So that brings to mind the law of attraction and how much the law of attraction operates in our life. So it's what you think about that you eventually receive. You know, it's what you think about that you actually get. You know, I love what one of the things I've been reading so much on the internet. It says, what you are looking for is also looking for you. So it's very important that we consistently, picture the future as to what we want it to be. So, like I said, for my future, I see a lot of celebrations for the big wins of some of the dreams that I have today and some of the dreams that I've had in the past, right from my childhood. And this is not because life was easy, but because it was worth fighting for. And every victory has its own story, story of triumph, receipts to show for it. You know, one thing I've really loved over the years, I used to be a very timid, shy kid. I didn't know how to express myself so much, not because I didn't have the potential, but I needed I needed to do a lot of work on myself. I was traumatized by so many experiences growing up, but when I started coming to the age of self-realization, I now realize that this is my it is my obligation, it's my responsibility to improve myself in such a way that I would be a better person for my friends, for my family, for even you. I mean, even you that um, happen to be listening to me today. So I had to take the initiative on how I can actually be better, how I can actually get better, in every single thing that I do. So this is exactly what I picture in the future. Life is going to be really, there'll be a lot of celebrations. And like I mentioned, not because life was entirely easy, but every victory had a story, every victory had its own receipt of exactly the steps that I took to, get to where I currently am. I mean, I'll be talking about the future in present tense because I already believe that it has happened. It's just time. I need to be patient with time for time to actually, manifest and bring these things to manifestation to the physical world. But I believe my future is has already happened, and sometimes I imagine myself walking through, a gallery where I have different photographs of things that have been able to um, of battles I've been able to fight and win, things I've been able to accomplish, from making films, from building businesses, conferences, organizing different events to touch the life of entrepreneurs, business people, thought leaders, ideas, memories, family, friends. You know, I just picture all of this, and in my mind's eye, I'm really excited because it's it's a very um it's a very enthusiastic feeling to just consider how much can change in a couple of years. And I mean, I already see this coming through. So each of these walls is a reminder of everything I've been thinking about today. As a matter of fact, if YouTube is still existing, this video will be a very wonderful reference because I can reference the 24th of July 2026 as the date where I spoke about the future and how what the future holds for me, because I believe very strongly that even Formula for Everyday podcast is going to be um, is going to have an audience of millions of people. Millions of people are going to be live on this broadcast. It's going to be far much better than what we are looking at today. Days like of in days like this, days of little beginnings. I'm so excited because I am certain that everything is going to work out fine. Everything is going to work out better. So how exactly do I continue to push in order to be able to ensure that what the future holds come to fruition? I need to be very intentional about how I live today. I need to be very intentional because like one of my mentors will say, he says, someone that is carrying eggs does not fight. So if you know exactly what you are holding on your hands, you won't engage with just anybody. Thank you very much for the one person that just joined me today. I really appreciate you. You can kindly engage me if you have any question or if you have anything you want to say. This is Formula for Everyday podcast, by the way, and my name is Lawrence Nkwocha, streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. So you need to be very intentional about your imagination, intentional about what you say. As a matter of fact, don't even talk down on yourself as a joke. Don't You need to learn how to think correctly, because thinking correctly simply means that you would be able to actually draw the things you've thought about into your reality. You'll be able to draw the things you've thought about into this physical realm. Okay, so you need to be very intentional. Be intentional about how you're creating your words. Be intentional about your actions. Your actions is an antecedent. There are receipts that will build up whether you are aware of this or not. Your actions continue to build up every single time you do anything at all. Okay, so it's very, very important that you're intentional about your words. Very, very important that you're intentional about your actions, because all these things come together to form your reality. So, like we treated yesterday, you also need to learn to live by design. Personally, for me, I try my best to live by design. Every single day, I have a routine that I've been running with for a couple of years now, that I already know. And so many things I do every day is not necessarily because those things are relevant to me today, but because of how much they mean to the kind of man I want to become, because of how much they mean to what the future holds. I have to consistently do them, whether I feel like it or I don't feel like it. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I don't feel like coming on this broadcast, but what the future holds for Formula for Everyday podcast, I have to discipline myself to always show up, no matter irrespective of how I personally feel. You know, I'm already invested in this in this broadcast. I'm invested in this dream and what can come out of it. So these are some of the lifestyle designs you need to build. Lifestyle design to take care of your health, lifestyle design to take care of your business, lifestyle design to take care of your family, your relationships. You have to be very intentional, because all these add up to what the future holds. Your spirituality. For me, I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian, and I believe in the saving power of God through Jesus Christ. So you have to ask yourself, what is spirituality to you? Because everything we see in this physical realm is not all that there is. There's more. There's more to life. Science calls it the metaphysical. There are things that operate everything we see physically, and by the time we see things physically, it's already too late. So things have already gone on in the metaphysical realm before we actually see them in the natural. So it's very important for we as thinkers to consistently, pay attention to our lifestyle design so that we'll be able to lead a more, remarkable life, a life that we'll be proud of, a life that will actually correlate to exactly what we've conceived about our future. Okay. So I sincerely believe that tomorrow is going to be better. And this is not because of even just my lifestyle design or the work I'm doing today, but because I believe that God is in control. They asked someone that, how are you sure of the next chapter? And he says, because my father wrote it. And when he said his father, he was referring to God. So God is our father, and I'm so confident about what tomorrow holds because the holy book says that the good book says that he's going to give us an expected end, an expected end. And my faith is just very strong. I mean, be you whatever religion, one thing you must always be very, very one principle you must not dispute in your life is the principle of faith. Because if you have faith, everything is possible. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, you just need to have that strong faith that you know anything can happen for you, and the future that you have conceived, God has a way of bringing this thing both through the natural laws and the laws of bringing this thing both through the natural laws he has set in place and the principles in order to be able to make our lives good, in order to be able to make our lives better. So you need to have this confidence, you need to have this courage that everything is going to work out fine. And yeah, so I'm really excited sharing this because, like I mentioned, I've begun to view life as a game. Now, not just about winning or losing, but life is a game because one thing we can be sure of, according to Jordan Peterson, nobody gets out of this life alive. I mean, we are all going to die. We are playing, we are living to die basically because after we've lived, we'll definitely die. So we're trying to make our mark in this world. Nobody can say for sure that this is where we're going to, but we just have to have the faith that, just like in the law of conservation of energy says that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be transformed from one form to another. So this is not the end. After we're done here, the energy in our soul, in our spirit, the energy that powers our mortal flesh will be taken somewhere else. So we need to make the most of our time here, and that is what the future is all about. So it's not about winning, it's not about losing, it's about playing and playing to win. So you need to keep showing up, you need to keep building, you need to keep believing in the process that whatever is happening in your life now is not happening to you, but it's happening for you. Because everything is possible to he that believes. You need to be very confident that whatever you've conceived, just like Napoleon Hill said, that whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe is definitely going to achieve. So believe that that's going to be, what would manifest in your life, and continue to work every day towards your widest dreams, towards your best dreams. Don't relent, don't compromise, don't take the shortcuts. Keep doing what you can and keep moving, keep getting wiser, stronger, and better. Live fully, experience life. I mean, before I used to think being serious about life, just success and all is what life is all about. Until I realized that life is not really about the winning or the losing. The person that actually wins in life is the person that continues to play at his best. That's why you need to continue to be at your flow state, whatever it is that energizes your spirit, whatever it is that makes you feel alive and happy. Continue to do it and do it to the best of your ability so that anybody that sees it is inspired by how you work, and they feel more alive to even do what they do. Okay, so that's the entire goal of life. You are inspired to inspire somebody in order to do what actually inspires them. Okay, so share your happiness. Be very generous with your compliments, with your words of affirmation. And I'm really, really excited that we're building this together. You see, Formula for Everyday Podcast is going to be bigger than this. We're going to have a better experience. We're going to have fun interacting, and this is what I'm very confident about. So I really do hope that this particular broadcast has been so helpful to you. I really like you to tune in every day around this time, just around from around 5:30 to around 6:30 every evening, every single day. This is Formula for Everyday podcast. I remain your host, Lawrence Nkwocha. Until I come your way again, always remember that we may hope to do the we may hope to do better things tomorrow, but the best things are done today. All right, bye for now.